since Alex Ferguson retired as a manager of Manchester United, and it has been a nightmare of a season for Manchester United. Concede goals easily, but find it difficult to score goals. That has been the irony of the red side of Manchester. And on that note, I bid you a warm welcome to the very first edition of Sports Cruise. My name is Anuluapo Ogunpola. I am your host. I'll be doing this show alone. I have guys with me here. To my left here, I have Bayo Adegboyega. Bayo, welcome to the show.
Yeah, pleasure.
Yeah, Bayo is a sports writer, a renowned journalist, a very, very good content writer, producer, actor. You can name it. Anywhere you put him in the mass communication or communication department, he's good to be there. And I have here to my right, Michael Imiavan, known as Mike the Pundit. Michael, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Michael is a sports journalist, a very, very good sports journalist, writer, should I say producer as well, content developer, everything you can actually assume in the world of sports. And Michael is here, and Bayo is also here to do the show with me. So let's get into the show proper. We've seen Manchester United struggle this season very, very well. Bayo, what is really wrong with Manchester United this season?
That's a $1 million question, and I think it's actually very difficult to answer. But then we've got to take a look at a whole lot of things. Before the ex-Pride coach left, I'm talking about Jose Mourinho. A lot of persons out there at Old Trafford, from the board to the football chief executive, his vice, Woodward, and everyone out there, including some players. They were of the view that Jose Mourinho had this pattern of play that will not suit the Manchester United style. But fast forward to 2019, this is a new season. But eventually, when they got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, former striker that scored the Champions League winner about 20 years ago, everything started very well. But on the long run, it was noticed that United returned to square one. So it says a lot about the problems of Manchester United. You can attribute it to the serial change of coaches from Sir Alex Ferguson, David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is quite surprising. Typical Manchester United back in those days will stay with a manager, but then it says a lot about that aspect. And at the same time, you take a look at the kind of players United are signing. Pogba came on even before Pogba, Angel Di Maria, Radamel Falcao. You go on and on and on, and one would wonder, changing coaches, getting quality players, and it's still not working well. So it says a lot about the problem. I could adjust that United might need a surgical operation at this point in time. Yeah, let me put it that way, a surgical operation.
Okay, yeah, that's a very, very good point of view from you. But we've actually heard about a lot of transfer problems with United, and we saw the way they actually messed up their transfer during the transfer window. Michael, United are not getting it right when it comes to transfer these days. They go to the market and buy good players, but this season they let off some quality players and brought in, let me say, just 2 unknown players. How has that been for them this season, or whose fault do you think it has been? The poor transfer policy of United this season?
Well, I'd like to start from where he left by saying that United needed a surgical operation. Rightly so, and that surgical operation will come through when you have a very good structure at Manchester United. For 23 years, the man right there, the greatest manager, if not in world football, talk about Sir Alex Ferguson, was at Manchester United. And once Sir Alex Ferguson calls a player, then you pick up the call because it is Manchester United, it is Sir Alex Ferguson. Yeah. But right now, new names from Louis van Gaal to David Moyes. Right now we now have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So for United, from that one-man style of trying to get players, they need to move to the new trend in world football, whereby you have to have the structure to get these players and all that. So at the point they're talking about trying to get a director of football, trying to get who and who should be. But right now as it stands, aside Ed Woodward and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, these are the 2 people calling the shots at Old Trafford. So which is not interesting for me. And talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself. Talk about his style. So many people say, even according to Ole, that when you look at the player he lets go, Alexis Sanchez, one for me, I think he should be leaving United, and rightly so he did, considering the fact that injuries, the pressure, and not trying to play well at United is actually coming true for him. And needed to leave at that point just to resurrect his own career. He was 30 before leaving United. While for any big, no doubt. While for Romelu Lukaku, we talk about the style in which Manchester United wants to play, the fast break, want to play on the counter attack. And for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that's why I have a problem with United. For Manchester United side, who go into games with the fact that they want to establish their pattern of play against their opponent, and United now turns to a side who you will play against, and you want to eat you on the counter. This is not a mid-table club side. So for United, questions about their structure, questions about their administrators, and of course the manager too. I think for me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still not the man for Manchester United if they are really to return to the top of football.
Okay, so Mike, I will still stick with you. Like you said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not really the kind of manager they really want this time around. But we've seen a lot of coaches actually come in and leave Manchester United, and Solskjaer is now there. But do you think Solskjaer has a pedigree to actually attract these big names? In world football, we know that Sir Ferguson, like you said, cannot call you as a player and tell you I need you for Manchester United, and you won't jump at the call. You will surely pick at the call. But so you said Solskjaer is not really good. Who do you think they can actually bring back since they actually allowed Jose Mourinho to leave? Who is next in line? Who do you think is the best coach for them to actually bring in at this time?
Well, they actually allowed Jose Mourinho to leave at a point whereby they sacked Jose Mourinho. It was needed, and football, you're as good as your last game. Jose Mourinho was not doing well, as usual with the dressing room, and of course always the third season syndrome, always for Manchester United. That said, you do not have the man who can actually bring you the big players, who can actually help out in these kind of scenarios. And what happened at Arsenal is something actually is happening at Manchester United.
Everything Manchester United actually accused us for is what they're doing.
Rightly, when Arsene Wenger left Arsenal, there was the need for Arsenal to know that, hey, Arsene Wenger is no longer here. We can't be able to call all of these big players. Although we can talk about how many big players Arsene Wenger really attracted, because he gets players for less.
Yeah.
But what you needed to do, or what Arsenal needed to do, was to have a football structure. They have a guy who is in charge of contract. They have a guy who is in charge of talking to agents. Talk about Raul Sanheli, and there's this guy Vinicius trying to work out all of this. They will meet with Stan Kroenke before talking to Unai Emery. That is 4 people at the end of a field before you can get transfers.
Yeah.
Now, from my side, Ed Woodward and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And that's all. So you can attract these players. You need to attract players. You need to have agents. You need to have big names when it comes to world football to be able to attract big players. Like Arsenal had to get Raul Sanheli from Barcelona to come and manage affairs when it comes to transfers at Arsenal. So Manchester United really needs to do this, and then I think at this point I'll be making a case for Edwin van der Sar. He has done it oftentimes with Ajax, and when you see the crop of players with Ajax now, so I feel that they need to have the football structure, and football is moving from that monopoly situation whereby one man can actually call the shots. You have to have that structure. You have to have that scenario whereby you can actually attract the big players. Ole would never, I repeat, will never attract big players.
Okay, so Bayo, we've seen scenarios whereby United actually got players after Sir Ferguson left. We've seen big players play in United as well. Angel Di Maria is one of them. Ibrahimovic is one of them. We've seen a lot of great players playing Manchester United even after the exit of Sir Ferguson. But what has been the big problem of it has been, when Jose Mourinho was also there, he complained about these big players not performing very well to his taste, to his standard. And now we have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, not using these big players, allowing them to go during the transfer market. But what has been the problem of United exactly? Is it the manager or the kind of players they have? Because now they are struggling, and even we've seen it before this season actually comes around. We've seen United struggle with even all these big names. What has been the irony of United? What has been the problem exactly for United?
I think two things. I'll begin with misplaced priorities. You see, when David Moyes left, he was expected to leave. Despite the fact that he was the anointed candidate of Sir Ferguson. But then, it happens in world football. You get a manager you feel is the messiah to take you to the promised land. It doesn't work that way. You get him sacked. Football is very funny. I recall how Claudio Ranieri won the Premier League with Leicester City. One thing that nobody saw coming. The following season, he started struggling. He was fired. Football is very simple. You see, it seems the current crop of players at Manchester United, you would notice that the new board want the homegrown players, to get the playing times. They want those guys to dominate. The likes of Ace Lingard, Marcus Rashford, Phil Jones, before they allow Chris Smalling go on loan. But then I think United actually need a very tough manager in the position of someone like Louis van Gaal or a certain Jose Mourinho. But unfortunately, United have tried both of them, and they feel they are not the right men for the job. Talking about attracting big players now, when Louis van Gaal came on board, he got Angel Di Maria, one of the best players in the world. Got Radamel Falcao, a man has proven himself everywhere he has been to. And most recently, when Jose Mourinho got to Manchester United were struggling to make it to the Champions League. Even playing in the Europa League, Jose Mourinho attracted players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba left Juventus, where he had the opportunity of playing in the Champions League, to join Manchester United. He talks about the pedigree of a man, Jose Mourinho. You know, he's done it before. While at FC Porto, 2023-2024, winning the Champions League with less fancied Porto side, won the Champions League when he left, for Inter Milan as well. Everywhere he's been to, he's a serial winner. So definitely this kind of man, you expect him to attract all these big names. Ibrahimovic says something that if he is looking at a top man for a top job, it has to be Jose Mourinho, and he attracted those big guys. But then Mourinho came on board, fell out with Paul Pogba, his anointed midfielder, because we all knew that it was because of Mourinho. Paul Pogba came to Manchester United. Michael talked about the structure on ground, the need for a director of football. Yes, I may agree and I may not. I may agree because the trend in football allows for that these days. But then in the days of Sir Alex Ferguson, it was different. This is Manchester United. We are different. That is what they will tell you. Just because someone is adopting the style of having a director of football, it doesn't mean Manchester United will follow the trend. This is Manchester United, the biggest club in England and one of the biggest in world football, not even Europe. So Sir Alex Ferguson called the shot as at then. He picks his pen. I want to sign Anderson. I want to sign Luis Nani. Okay, Carlos Queiroz, my assistant, has told me to go after Baby. I don't need to see him in training. I trust his judgments. Bring all these players together, and that is it. I remember David Moyes struggled to get Thiago Alcantara and Francis Fabregas. If it were to be the days of Sir Alex or even Jose Mourinho,
or even Luis Van Gaal,
it would have been possible. So you could see that United problem is enormous. Not just one, not two, not three. And again, United are not siding based on the needs. They have been hypocritical. They have been insincere. They have been economical with the truth. Exactly. Recall Jose Mourinho told the world that he needed to sign about 4 or 5 players in different positions. Now let's go back memory lane. He said he would need a strong centre back. The board told him that he assigned Eric Bailly. He had to stay with them. He said that he needed midfielders. They told him he brought in Pogba for a world record fee. He needs to angle with him. He signed Romelu Lukaku. He said he needed a striker. They said, oh no, you can't be doing this. But immediately left. A new manager came on board, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yes, spent £30 million to get the central defender Jose Mourinho needed. He spent a whopping sum on a right full back, talking about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and a winger, Daniel James. Quite normal. These are the players he feels he needs. But why not do it for the former manager? So it says a lot about people being economical with the truth. Yeah. I think, just like I said, a surgical operation is needed at Manchester United. If they want to follow the trend of a director of football, Edwin van der Sar told them that, see, I am very much available. A former United goalkeeper won the Champions League. Absolutely, by all measurable standard. He won almost everything with Manchester United, and he's doing very well with Ajax Amsterdam. So they just have to go back to that drawing board if there is any theatre of dreams. It is very simple. But one thing, irrespective of whatever changes you are making, you have to ensure that this current manager leaves. You need a man that picks up his phone, put up a call to a player, and even you can imagine while Salas was at Manchester United, even Jose Mourinho, when he calls some players, they already have his number.
Certainly.
We haven't, there is no opportunity for us to talk before. But then, because it is Jose Mourinho, I want to talk to Jose Mourinho. I have his number. I just pick up my phone. Surprisingly, this is wow, like the special one. Just imagine getting that manager that will be able to attract big names. So, you're talking about the board. Yes, Ed Woodward, not the best man for the job. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, not the best man for the job, and the Glazers family, the owner of Manchester United, should also be doing better. At this point, I think they are profit oriented. They love the money they are making. They are probably not concerned about what is happening any longer. And just like you said, United is the new Arsenal.
Okay, so guys, in one word, what would be your solution? Let me start from Mike. What would be your solution to United's problem this season?
It's simple. United at the point do not prioritize financial gains ahead of trophy. United at the point United prefer to win the trophy because, and again in football really, if you win the trophy, the financial gains will come through, no doubt about it. So for United, the board really needs to check through themselves and feel that, well, is this for us to make profit or is for us to get a trophy? Because as it stands now, when you look at the pedestal, United and Liverpool, even at the point and whereby they're fighting for titles, Of course, 20 Premier League titles, 18 for Liverpool, 6 Champions League titles for Liverpool, 3 for Manchester United. They are still not on the same pedestal, and as it stands now, they really just need to check through and be like, well, let us prioritize trophy ahead of financial gains. And again, well, Bayo does not seem to agree. He's a United fan. I don't know, maybe that I still feel that a very good structure should be in place, because the transition from a 23-year period of just one man into a period where you don't even know what the future holds for you could come in. And I think that they were on the right path with Jose Mourinho. In as much as Jose Mourinho himself shot himself in the leg, I think the board also did that. And again, they need to prioritize what they really want. Is the kind of players we want to play for Manchester United, and that's DNA issue. I think if you're good enough, you should play for Manchester United. It's not about you having the United DNA and all that. They had to let Romelu Lukaku leave because they want to allow Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial to have a chance to play. So they need to check a whole lot solution. One, not prioritizing money ahead of trophy, and two, also having a good structure as per football management.
Okay, thank you very much. Right. So Bayo, what is your solution for Manchester United problem?
Yeah, very simple. Michael is talking about prioritizing trophy side of the monetary gains. You can prioritize it too. No one says you can't make money while you're winning trophies. As a matter of fact, when you win trophies, you make money.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can as well. Manchester City has have taught us that you can even buy trophies. You know, once you have the money.
Players.
You understand? Just ensure structurally begin from the top. The Glazers family need to sit together. This is what we want to do. We want to return United to that very good, very enviable heights. It is very possible you spend all the money in this world and still fail. Certainly. You know, to win. It is very, very possible. But then, just ensure you told the right paths. Starting from the family, they have to sit down, analyze. Not like, okay, how much did we make this season? 1% is going to this particular family. The other is going to this the other family. No. Ensure you get a top-class manager. This is Manchester United. I keep repeating, not just a mid-table team. As for Ed Woodward, I keep repeating, he's still not the best man for the job. Get him something else to do at Manchester United, not the position he holds. You know, is certain Ed Woodward negotiating deals? No. That is not his top. But then, on the field of play again, the typical Manchester United kind of player, nothing of such exists in world football. Like Mike said, you're good enough, come to Manchester United, play your football, and I know United will return someday to that top level. Yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you guys for coming to the show. It remains to be seen, maybe United will actually bounce back this season or wait till next season to when they bounce back. On that note, I'll bring this show to an end. And please, if you have enjoyed this show, you can follow us on our YouTube page, on our Instagram page, and on our Twitter page via Sports Cruise. My name is Anulapo. Bye now.